Fresh out of the campaign, you have once again sailed off to Karui shores. You have decided to play a somewhat interesting skill, Viper Strike of the Mamba, and maybe you don't know where to start. Maybe you just want to see how it's done, or perhaps, just randomly, you have stumbled upon this video. Fish, in this video I will go over 5, 50 and 500 divine versions of this build, as well as showcasing crafting 5 and 50 divine gear from scratch and showcasing some content that each version is capable of. Am I gonna succeed? Is this build gonna fumble? Am I going to be able to create a mob demon and an uber killer? Stay tuned to find out. Viper Strike of the Mamba at heart is a poison skill, meaning the bulk of the damage comes from an ailment inflicted on hit with this weapon, and normally poison can stack infinitely. However, Viper Strike of the Mamba has a hefty restriction, cannot inflict poison on poisoned enemies, basically negating the biggest advantage of poison. So, why are we even using this? Well, you see, as a trade-off, it has a massive 240 more damage with poison multiplier, as well as this line that is easy to miss, deals the damage with both weapons in one strike, meaning that we take the damage of this weapon, we take the damage of this weapon, combine them, and this is the part of the hit that's gonna poison, unlike the regular Viper Strike, which would poison with 2 hits separately. With all of that figured out, we can finally take a look at our first budget and start assembling the character. Of course, step 1 in that process is getting some pocket change. At the core of the whole build is Bina's kitchen knife, a tier 0 unique. Unfortunately, this being a tier 0 means that on a league start it is quite expensive. When I was league starting this character, this thing was upwards of 15 divines, and it was quite a pain to swap. However, we are at week 2 or even week 3, and it is pretty cheap nowadays, making this video possible in the first place. So let's identify this thing, blacksmith with stones, and hey, we have our first weapon. So, what's so special about Bina's kitchen knife? Well, you see, this line, on killing a poisoned enemy, enemies within 3 meters are poisoned, and you and your allies regen, that doesn't matter. Basically, this is free poison proliferation, and what it allows us to do is to bypass the Viper Strike of the Mamba restriction of 1 poison. Let me demonstrate it for you. To even further take advantage of this interaction, we're gonna grab ourselves a ring named Hateful Accuser. This ring does something special. It grants us a level 20 penance mark skill. What the skill does is it summons enemies when we hit a marked enemy, which is basically perfect for us. We can spawn more enemies, poison them, and then poison from those enemies is gonna proliferate back to our original target. Let me demonstrate. Just like that. Unfortunately, we are not done with tier 0 uniques. However, this one can actually wait for a little while if you're assembling this build. Next up, we have Essentia Sanguis. What's so special about this one? Well, first of all, it grants us a lot of energy shield, attack speed, and a couple of unique properties. First of all, Ghost River, which is not a big deal. We would have been able to allocate it on a tree right here. It's the other one that matters. Maximum recovery per energy shield leech is doubled, and energy leech effects from attacks are not removed at full energy shield, meaning our leech can overcap, and overcap it will. Next, we're gonna buy an item that's gonna provide us with basically 90% of our damage. Whispers of the Infinity. We're looking for a good roll on added damage, and not a terrible roll on reduced maximum mana. I like this one. It is quite important to catalyze it, so we're gonna catalyze it for attack mods. This single-handedly, without any investment, is gonna about double damage. Take a look at those numbers. Our main hand damage is 1k to 2k damage, our offhand damage is 150 to 300 chaos damage. And yeah, it almost doubled. For the offhand it way more than doubled. This item does 2 things. First, it solves our base damage scaling, and second, it solves our mana, since we're gonna be reserving a lot of it. And we are on to our unique finish line. The last unique item for this build currently is Chevron Revelation, with a purity of elements, mana reservation efficiency implicit. People are corrupting those rings all over the place, so it shouldn't be too bad. This one only costs 2 chaos. And, you guessed it, we're equipping it in the right ring slots, giving us a lot of energy shield regen, and a lot of mana, further boosting our damage. Before I forget, I'm gonna unspec all of my tree and redo it once again. Ah, an empty sheet. A tabula rasa, so to speak. We're gonna draw onto those canvas a little bit later. I actually lied a little bit when I said we are done with unique items. We're also gonna need 2 unique jewels, 7 passive voices. And let's slot them right in. 1, and run right there. Well, we have sort of solved our base damage. What are we missing? Well, we are missing a bunch of percentage increased damage. It is exactly what we are gonna be getting, but first, we need to buy medium clusters that grant us percentage increased chaos damage with 4 passives. We're going to be rolling them for a very specific skill, but first I need to change out some more divines for chaos orbs. And those chaos orbs for alteration orbs. Okay, great. And I'm also gonna need some augmentation orbs. Okay, well, that bioder is filling. What are I gonna be doing with that? First I'm gonna find an empty tab. Then I'm gonna load all of those jewels right here. Okay, our orb of augmentation is here. Then I'm gonna make them magic with the transmutation orbs, hopefully. Okay, all of those jewels are now magic. We're gonna type in low tolerance, since this is the passive that we're looking for. Let me confirm that it works. Yep, my regex works. And I am simply gonna be clicking alteration orbs and augmentation orbs until some of them light up. And let's get rolling. And we hit, we didn't hit all of them, but that's alright. The ones we did hit, I'm gonna Regal Orb and Exalted Orb. Oh wow, Exalts are quite pricey this league. Okay, so all of those I'm gonna just Exalted Orb. Great, this one got 2 passives, 1 passive, 1 passive, 1 passive. Why are those clusters so important to us? Well, you see, let's grab all the voices places, and then let's see, 1, 2, 3. All of them have this one passive, low tolerance. Poison you inflict on non-poisoned enemies, still 300% increased damage. And you see, the thing is, because Viper Strike of the Mamba can only poison non-poisoned enemies, this always applies, so this is the freest 300% damage increase in our life, basically solving the increased damage scaling for our build completely in just a few cluster jewels. And yes, they are that potent that you would run 7 passive voices for them, even 2 of them. I'm actually not sure about this one since we've only hit 1. And just with those few changes, mobs that previously were quite big of a problem should well, no longer be a problem. Let's see how our damage looks like. It should be a one-shot. Ah, it pretty much is. Oh yeah, look at that proliferation. You can already see where this build is going, right? You didn't see that? And as an exercise in damage scaling, guess what's next? You are right. Or wrong, I don't know what you guessed. But we're gonna be scaling damage over time multiplier via the perfect agony keystone, which states damage over time multiplier for all elements is equal to critical strike multiplier. However, non-crits cannot inflict elements. Let's spec that. Well, what are we gonna do about our crit chance? Fortunately, we have an assassin ascendancy, which we can grab an assassination style knife in the back, more critical strike chance against enemies that are not on low life. This is pretty much perfect, where our playstyle against single target enemies is spawn hateful accuser mobs, stab them, and well, they are full health, thus doubling our. This is not enough, we're still at measly 20%. How the hell are we getting critical strike multiplier that's gonna be converted into, well, dot multi for the perfect agony? Well, there is this wonderful support called Nightblade. It's gonna give us both some base crit and crit multi. However, this support is very interesting. The way it is worded, elusive from supported skills also grants 138 crit multi. That implies that the elusive effect scales this crit multi, and indeed it does. Because we're an assassin, we can grab a hefty 100% elusive effect. Also, since we're using a dagger, we can grab this mastery for 40% more elusive effect, and 40% more critical strike multiplier while affected by elusive, and this claw mastery for another 40% elusive effect. Now let's see what happens when we hit a mob in the Blood Aqueduct. So, take a note that our crit strike multiplier, it sits at around 185%. Now, when we hit a mob, it is suddenly up to a whopping 750%, giving us a lot of damage. And I mean a lot of damage. If we can poison the enemies, that is. We're gonna spec some nodes to sell our crate. Okay, I think I'm gonna spec this wheel, because it provides a lot of crit, 25 plus 40. That's a good crit wheel. I think I'm gonna spec this crit wheel, and I'm already at 49 and 34%. Quite a bit. Keep in mind, this chance is doubled with the knife in the back ascendancy point. So this is 80%. And this is 70% crit. Still not quite good enough, so I think we're gonna head this way and grab Trickery, this passive point, and this passive point. And we're basically crit capped for the main hand and 80% for the offhand. I call that good enough for now. Our chance to poison is not actually 100% now. Viper Strike of Mamba only has 60% base chance to poison and hit. And for the poison, unlike other ailments, critical strike does not guarantee it applying. So we're gonna grab some of the poison nodes and grab another mastery. That's basically another low tolerance. Silly me, I almost forgot a very important thing. Since our damage is basically directly correlated to the uptime of elusive, the highest value thing we can get right now is Rune Graph of the Agile. It provides us elusive effect increasing instead of reducing for the first 2 seconds, I think. Since I already have it engraved, I'm just gonna spec this, this, and this. There we go, I spec'd it. And this goes into my stash. I don't know about you, but I'm a little tired of being butt naked. Let's start crafting some gear. First up, I'm gonna grab myself a torture guff with a fractured percentage chance to suppress spell damage. This is a tier 2 base, so it's not that expensive. Crafted, we're gonna grab some evasion essences. What we're looking for is a decently large number of evasion rating, so like, I don't know, 2.5k, I think it's possible with this one, and 1 resistance on the suffixes. Well, would you look at that? Well, I mean, it's not that great. I think we can keep going. Maybe if I can slam percentage. I slammed region, it's not gonna get the resistances now. Okay, hopefully this time greed doesn't overcome me, and I will end up with a decent chest plate. Okay, I'm definitely keeping this. And a tier 2 cold dress. Clip it and ship it, and then I just craft gold, and then I craft fire and lightning dress here, and just armor scrap it. And finally, my character is not naked, which cannot be said about my finances. They are getting quite thin. Hopefully I have enough to fill those slots. Alright, next up we're gonna grab Assassin's Mitts with Fractured Press. And unlike previous method, I'm actually gonna be crafting them with... How much is a Chaos Res Essence? Hopefully like 9 of those should be enough. Oh! Yo, that's... I mean, that's really good. Should I settle for this? I think I'm gonna settle for this for now. Then for my craft, I'm just gonna craft mana. Crafted mana is pretty good. And I have an open affix, which I think I'm just gonna exalt. Flat lighting, that does nothing for my build. Next up, onto the boots. We grab ourselves murder boots with fractured life. Actually, those are nearly perfect. No, I really need chaos res. So we're gonna continue spamming them with this shrinking essence. Holy res. Oh, that's not bad. Maybe if I can slam mana? No, we continue spamming them. And I'm hoping to see mana and res. Oh, you know what? I feel like that works. Because now, what I can do is craft movement speed, right? What's a reasonable amount of movement speed? And just exalt slam something. That's good enough for now. That is good enough for now. Next up, I'm gonna grab myself a Sunfire Circlet with Fractured Life. This one is actually quite good already, so I'm gonna hit it with Regal Orb. Holy fuck, I hit tier 1 int. Okay, I am kinda dumbfounded by what just transpired. How is my res looking? My lightning res is completely ass, and my fire res is not the best. So, I would much rather this be lightning res. Honestly, I would be wearing that. 500 of this juice. Okay, hold to lightning. Okay, great. Now if we wear it, our resistance looks much better. Then we craft lightning, and I guess I can craft fire and chaos maybe? Yeah, I'll craft fire and chaos res. And then it is just slam. Let's buy some more exalted orbs. And then let the slam be good. I'm good with mana. Honestly, that's not the worst. And the only res that sucks right now is lightning, but we still have a belt slot to fix that. Actually, before doing any of that, I'm gonna grab myself a Purity of Elements. And I don't seem to be strong enough. Can I fix that on the tree somehow? Okay, how my resistance is looking with the Purity of Elements? Still not great. So, to address the situation, I'm gonna grab myself a Crystal Belt with a Fractured Fire res, then I'm gonna be slamming it with Lightning res essences. Okay, so this is here, and now I just spam the belt until I see... Hold on, what do I need actually? I need cold res and lightning res, well, until I see triple res, I guess. That's promising, right? Oh, no, yeah, that's actually really good. I just craft cold res here, and this belt solves my resistances. Wonderful. I think I could even go get away with cold and chaos hybrid. With the gear more or less sorted, now let's click some life nodes on the tree, because I'm not comfortable being at 1.8k life. Those are good life nodes, and are there any more good life nodes? I don't think so. Shadow is not exactly known for having a lot of life on the tree. This is relatively close, I think I'll grab it for now. We'll see if we have point deficit. While we're at it, our gear gives us 39% to suppress spell damage. That means I can comfortably click this wheel, bringing us up to 78% chance to suppress. And I think I might buff over here, 92% suppression. Ew, I think I'm out of good suppression nodes. There is this suppression plus life, I think? No, it's just suppression plus life recovery. I don't like that wheel actually. Okay, well, I haven't forgotten, let's do some housekeeping, like getting sockets on our gear. That's pretty important, right? So let's stock up on Jeweler's Orbs. And fusing orbs. I think this should be enough. Let's get like 5 chromas, 5 sockets, and 5 linked sockets. Okay, 1 green it is. And Viper Strike of a Mamba goes here, Nightblade goes here. What about other supports? Okay, let's say goodbye to our final Divine Orb. Our supports is gonna be melee physical damage. Since I have a lot of jewel slots and not a lot of jewels, I'm gonna buy some. Every single jewel is gonna have mana and then some attributes. Okay, gotta slot those right in, right here, and also let's grab this passive socket. Well, we should now have more than enough strength. So next up it's gonna be a void manipulation. And I think for the last one it's gonna be deadly elements. It's gonna be deadly elements for sure. Wonderful. I would now like to roll a very specific Eldritch Implicit on my gloves. Hopefully everybody and their grandmother runs Exarch altars, so the embers are pretty cheap. Hopefully it's gonna be enough. I'm looking for non-val strike skills target 1 additional enemies. It is pretty common, so... The Spare Curse effect, that works. And then for the body armor, crit multi, nope. Oh, crit multi for attack damage, yep, that works. One issue that we still have is our chance to hit is abysmal. We gotta spec some accuracy nodes. And I think this accuracy wheel is really good, because it also scales our critical strike chance, and right now the main hand crit strike is basically 100%, and the other is 90%. So we're also gonna grab accuracy rating equal to my int. And how much are we at now? 84%. I don't think that's enough. Should I grab this accuracy? Maybe it is enough? I'm not sure. On the topic of accuracy, a lower level precision, like level 15, is gonna help drastically. Also, it provides some good critical strike chance, which is gonna basically effectively cap our offhand critical strike chance. It should now be... yeah, it's 50%. It's basically capped. Also, disable this thing. With that said, let's try and earn our Oshabe Ascendancy. Hopefully this character is strong enough for that. She's so obnoxious if you have a bad build. Jesus, lady. Fuck me. I mean, alright. I think this can earn its ascendancy point. No Shaco? Wow, that can happen. And would you look at that? We can grab ourselves 70%, oh wait, 20% elusive and 50% mark effect, which that mark effect is gonna be of much help on bosses. And as for the last two ascendancy points, as you can see, they're gonna go right here. Okay, let's handle our sockets a little bit more. First of all, our movement skill, whirling blades, faster attacks, momentum. We can now more or less move around. Also, as an addition to that, frost blink. As for the rest of my reservations, I think I'm gonna grab Grace, slots right in. We are now up to 15k evasion rating, that's pretty reasonable. Then I'm gonna grab Watcher's Eye with Suppress Grace. It should be pretty cheap at this point. Yeah, it's very cheap. This is gonna suppress Kappas. We are not lacking any jewel slots, so this goes right here. Now, we still have some budget, but we are missing an annoyant. An ideal variant would be Arcane Wheel, but it is quite expensive, requiring a silver oil, so I'm gonna opt for a much cheaper Deep Thoughts with Clear, Verdant and Violet. Clear, Verdant, Violet. Deep Thoughts. Nice! That's the testing I like to see. So, this character is 98 and I have 8 passive skill points available. This puts us at level 90, which is my acceptable level for this level of investment is about 95, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab 2 more jewel sockets. And we're gonna buy, you guessed it, some jewels for those sockets. All of them have mana, strength, int and dex, basically attributes so that we can free up another 3 skill slot. There we go. Let's put those in. 1, 2, and then we should have enough strength to grab some respec points, and then we should have enough strength to unspec this, and then spec this for another jewel. Great, now we have 2.5k mana. This should be enough to grab some flasks. Let's grab a Jade Flask, a Quicksilver Flask, plus Topaz Flask, and then of course a Sapphire Flask. There we go. And the last mod is Damage Taken, Leech is Life. It's actually gonna be instrumental in our survivability, along with the Sentia Sanguis. Basically, it is a pseudo recoup that works really well with the Ghost River. Last thing I want to do is Wither Totems, so I'm gonna grab a Spell Totem Support. Where is it? There it is. I'm gonna grab Wither as a spell, then I'm gonna grab Duration. There it is, more duration, and what's it? It's a custom and a probably faster casting. And with that, I believe this version of character is assembled. Let's see what we can do, shall we? If you know me somewhat well, you already know which strategy I'm gonna showcase for this build. This is a map that is rolled for pack size. We're running 5 Div Scarabs of the Cloister. Here's the Atlas tree. I'm specking Ritual Nodes, all the Scarabs that I can reach, Map Mod Effect, Astrolabe Cluster, and Exarch Altars. This is the Divination card farm strategy. Let's see what we can do well at high pack size maps, because it does this. Completely stupid. On the altars you're looking for, let's see, not this, the currency dupe, and nothing else basically matters, so I'm not even gonna click it. Yeah, and basically you just walk up to a pack, right click, and everything on the screen dies. It's a pretty good gameplay. And the only downside being the amount of clicking you have to do. Oh, there's a currency dupe. Your main source of profit from those mobs is, well, stack decks. But you also get quite a bit from scarabs, since at this point of the league, some scarabs are starting to be worth well, a shitload of. I'm gonna finish this map and get back to you with the results. In that map I have gotten 70 stack decks, which is about a divine, but I'm not gonna be selling them. What am I? I'm just gonna open them right here. And that's what you call a divine down the drain. Let's take a look at the boss fight now. I'm gonna be fighting Eather of the Worlds. Oh, that was pretty easy. I feel like that's a good boss damage for the 5D version. To sum up, the 5 Divine version is an excellent mapper, an okay bosser. Downsides are, it is a little bit squishy, it is very sus to assemble on the league start, since Binos is gonna be worth Divines, not Chaoses. But otherwise, it's a very respectable version of the build. This is not sponsored, I just really like this extension, Better Path of Exile Trading. This adds this right here interface to the PoE trade website. This allows you to save trades and organize them into folders. I have organized my 5D craft bases and various searches and 50D searches and various bases into 2 different folders. If you were to follow my crafting guides, all you need to do is import the code just like so. I will share it like this, and you are gonna import it like this, and you have yourself my Mamba 5D folder, which includes all of the items I was buying for the character. Peace! With all that said, let's see what the 50 Divine version of the build has to offer. Shall we? Good news is, the core of the build remains completely the same. All what we're gonna be doing is upgrading our rares, jewels, cluster jewels. First thing we are gonna be crafting is a way better body armor. Since we are planning to go CI, I'm gonna buy a necrotic armor base with a fractured suppression, much like what we had going on in here. It's just a way better base. To craft this base, first I'm gonna need to change out some divines into chaos orbs. Of course. This should do it. Then I'm gonna buy some dense fossils, buy 20 for now, and 20 resonators. Now what I'm gonna do is charge up those resonators with a dense fossil and click them on this body armor until I see a good number. Something like 3000? I think that's reasonable. Okay, 3000 is definitely not reasonable. Let's aim for like 2.5k. This roll tier 1. Maybe I can annul this mana. Let's grab ourselves some annulment orbs. Let's see if I can annul this mana. Indeed, I have annulled this mana. Now let's see. What if I craft some life? Grab myself an exalted orb? Like 10 of those. Let's see what I can do. And then head onto the ship. And then let's exalt slam it. Ooh! Ooh. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I think that's tier 3. Yeah, that's tier 3. I think I'm happy with it. Yeah, it's not gonna be a Giga late game body armor, but it is pretty good nevertheless. Now I can just craft a hybrid, right? Yep. Now I grab this. Now I grab the quality. And we have ourselves a 2.7k necrotic body armor. Not bad. Now I'm gonna go ahead and buy Omen of the Jeweler to make my body armor 6 socket. 6 linked sockets. Let's see. This is 1.5k infusings. I should be able to afford it, right? A bit more than 100c. Wonderful. And we have ourselves a 6 link pretty much. Great. Let's grab like 10, right? And let's hope for a few green sockets. Oh, that does it. Okay then, now Viper Strike of the Mamba. Hold on a second. This body armor is not ready. Its suffixes are shit. Okay then, to grab the suffixes, I'm gonna grab some Eldritch Chaos Orbs. Oh well, they're expensive nowadays. Okay, I am gonna make Eather dominant. And if I don't like the suffixes that I see, like Eather is dominant, this is gonna reroll suffixes. I'm rerolling suffixes. Then I'm crafting here. I'm blocking deck, I'm slamming, and if I don't like what I see, I'm rerolling again. And I happen to like what I see a lot. This is my new body armor. Hyper Strike of Mamba goes here. And for our last support, we are gonna be rocking a Greater Ancestral Call. This should greatly increase the increase the quality of life that we have, whereas previously I had to chase around guys spawned by Penance Mark. With this Greater Ancestral Call, I will be able to basically stand in place and per strike of Mamba. The Greater Ancestral Call is gonna take care of the rest. You know, I have contemplated a little bit, and instead of having a crafted mod on this body armor, I'm just gonna go ahead and Vesper it with the Exalt Orb. If this is not clear, by this point I have come to the conclusion that the League mechanic is basically free for the purposes of the currency, because the sulfur price is crazy. But I have never ever once bought sulfur because I was running League mechanic, so let's see what we have here. Life is useless, but we have a tier 4 mana, and as you can remember, mana is damage. While I still would prefer probably a crafted hybrid, this is fine for me. Do you know what is the most important slot when swapping to CI? It is helmet. We're gonna go for a Lich Circlet, a best ES base, with a good base percentile. And the craft we're gonna subject in this thing to is exactly the same that I have described in my Abyssal Socket crafting video. That means we're gonna be grabbing an Abyssal Socket for ourselves. Oh my lord. Hollow Fossil. Oh my lord, they're expensive. A Fractured Fossil, I need only one. And a Resonator that can fit both of those fossils. Hopefully I can hit first try, but if I don't, that's okay. So, what this Resonator is gonna do, it's gonna A. Reforge this item guaranteeing an Abyssal Socket, and B. It's gonna fracture it simultaneously. Meaning that in Sovereign, when we apply this to the helmet, we're gonna see 3 ghostly copies, giving us a decent chance to see the Fractured Abyssal Socket. Right there. Hold on a second. Yep, right there. And to further craft it, you guessed it, we're gonna be using the exact same method as we did with body armor. Meaning, we gotta stock up on dense fossils. Okay then. And we're hoping to see a 400 plus energy shield helmet. Oh, that hit tier 1 percentage. Maybe I can annul off the bed flat. No, I annul tier 1 percentage. Ooh, that's a good that's a good as hell helmet. Okay, we are definitely taking this. Now for the suffixes. Ideally we have int plus 1 resistance, meaning that basically it's the same thing, but we're gonna be blocking accuracy. We craft accuracy, we slam it with an Exalted Orb. That's a bad resistance, I don't like it. And if we don't like what we see, we apply an Eldritch Chaos Orb. Ooh, I got int. Nice. And now, when I have int, I go to the Vesper, and hopefully I can slam something good here. Tier 1 resistance. Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. And this is a fancy helmet for us. Let me grab some jewelers. There we go. Let's move our auras over. And that right there is a helmet. Now, okay, I still need to quality it. That's a 520 ES helmet. If we look on the trade side, a helmet with this much ES and an Abyssal Socket costs 40 divines. Wonderful. And that's not even counting the intelligence requirement. Now that's what I call a craft. Previously I mentioned that the helmet is a very important slot for CI characters. Why is that? Well, that's because of this mastery. 100% increase energy shield from equipped helmet. Just by speccing it, we're up to 3000 energy shield. Our old helmet might rest now. Into this helmet, we're gonna socket an Abyssal Jewel, like so. It gives us strength, int, evasion rating, and a lot of mana. But that's not it. We also have a Ducat that can corrupt an Abyssal Jewel and give it an additional modifier. That's exactly what I'm gonna do right now. Ooh, holy fuck, that's a very expensive jewel. As the legends say, my boy, my boy, this is expensive. Let's see, how much does this cost? That's like a free divine jewel right there. We're up to 2600 mana. Next up, we're gonna do the exact same craft, but with gloves. We grab ourselves a pair of Warlock gloves, we trade some divines for Chaos Orbis, we buy an Abyssal Fossil, a Hollow Fossil, do I have enough? A Fractured Fossil, we charge up the Resonator, and we take it to the Vesper. My boy, show me the Fractured Abyssal Socket. Thank you very much, my boy. And, you guessed it, we're gonna be spamming it with Dense Fossils. Until we see a respectable number. Hey, did you know that those videos take a lot of time and energy to produce? If you like what I'm doing, please show me some support by subscribing. It costs you nothing. Oh! Holy, those are almost good. Maybe if I can annul the flat, and then I can just craft it. How much is a crafted flat? Hold on a second. Oh, I mean, this is better than crafted flat. I think I settle on those. Then just armor scrap it, and we have a 300 AS pair of gloves. Wonderful. Now let's just finish the suffixes. The process for finishing suffixes is exactly the same as with the helmet. However, this time I think I want more resistances, right? Yeah, I want more resistances. But I guess int plus hybrid would be good. Let's see. So this is still accuracy, so 91, 91, 120 VCR. Wonderful. Craft, slam, rinse and repeat. Ooh. Okay then, if I can slam a good resistance right here, those are a top tier pair of gloves. Show me resistance. Ew. Brother, ew. Okay. That does not cut it. Maybe I can save it with Eldritch and Ilmatorb. This is Eather. Can I save it? I can save it. Wonderful. Let's try again. You know what? I think I take this tier 4 resistance. Am I stupid? Hold on a second. I think I'm a little dense. I have no idea why I just didn't craft the resistance here. And it would be more resistances than whatever this is. Okay, I did a little dumb thing. But that doesn't matter. Now I can just use a Ducat that switches the attributes. However, it is called. There's the one. I need to change out the divine for Chaos Orbs, because I think I've been using some of the company Chaos Orbs. And let's show those gloves to the Vesper along with this Ducat. And hopefully, yeah, that's the one. I got lucky since the intangibility procced, but I still got the int that I have wanted. We now have a gloves with, is that tier 0 int? I think it normally rolls to plus 55 and this is tier 0. Wonderful, those are amazing gloves. Look at our energy shield numbers. 3.7k, wonderful. I am opting for an abyssal jewel like this, strength, int, and mana. Exalt slam it. All of this is, well, useless. I guess just take this one because it's the highest weighting, and then use it alongside this Ducat. Let's see what we have here. Life regen useless. You know what? Accuracy is pretty good. We do in fact need some accuracy. And if we were to price check a pair of gloves like this, they're gonna set us back like 40 divines, and those don't even have the resistance that we have. Like if you compare those gloves to those gloves. Ours are actually quite a bit better. Our old pair of gloves goes resting. Since we have a respectable amount of energy shield at this point, I suggest we click CI and unspec a lot of the life nodes. And just like that, we have 12. Right away, let's spend those points towards some more survivability by clicking those nodes that grant us energy shield. And let's also make our first big purchase, the Runegraft of the Fortress, that is gonna provide us with a whopping 40% increased defenses. It is, however, quite pricey, but it's worth it. I already have it right here on my tree, so I'm not gonna apply it again, but I'm just gonna spec this node and this mastery that's gonna turn it the rune graft of the fortress. And this rune graft goes into the top somewhere here. Hooray! We're now immune to chaos damage and we do not need to worry about chaos res anymore. We are halfway done with our budget for this version of the character, and the last slot that we need to marginally upgrade is our boots. For that, my boots of choice are gonna be the phantom boots with a fractured suppression. I know, what a shocker. From this point, the craft is actually quite different from the others. I'm gonna grab myself a scouring orb, a bunch of alteration orbs, some augmentation orbs, probably too much augmentation orbs to be honest. And I also need some regal orbs. Let's go for 20. Okay, now what I'm gonna be doing is alt spamming this pair of boots until I see either tier 1 percentage, increased defenses, or tier 1 mana, which shouldn't take too long. And just like that, I mean tier 2 is fine. Next up, I'm gonna regal and hopefully I will hit the mana. I hit life, close enough. Let's grab ourselves some scours, we're gonna need them. And basically, rinse and repeat. Oh, tier 2 mana. Ooh, there we go, those are our boots. Now the craft is more or less deterministic. So I'm gonna need a Veiled Exalted Orb, Veiled Chaos Orb I mean. Hopefully I hit first try, it shouldn't be that bad. Now I do prefixes cannot be changed. Minus 2d, and now I hit it. It's a suffix, unfortunate. I go again. It's a suffix, unfortunate. Oh my lord. I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. I don't feel so good. Oh my lord. Shouldn't be costing this much money. Oh, that's so... I need an Eldritch Annulment be changed once again. And hopefully, this is gonna hit. Fuck you! Okay, I'm just crafting Fire Chaos? Yeah, I definitely don't want the Chaos Hybrid, so I'm gonna unveil them like that. Strength Feint is pretty good. Okay then, now I socket those up. I link those up. The boot situation was very unfortunate, but nevertheless, we are here now. Okay, as bad as those boots were, they are done. Now we can grab something exciting. I'm gonna grab myself a Balance of Terror Jewel. There we go. And we're socketed right into our reset. There we go. Now we have ourselves a Wither. Well, not like we didn't have it before, it just sucked. This jewel does the following. If we have cast Wither in the past 2 seconds, we inflict Despair on hit, no strings attached. What does that mean? We gotta grab ourselves a Despair. And just like that, 2020 Despair. But here's the dilemma. Viper Strike of Mamba is slow as hell, and we sure as hell is not gonna hit Wither Cup by doing just this. Fortunately, there is a way to make a minion that's gonna be using Cyclone, that's gonna be applying a lot of Wither. So, let's take a look here. When I'm gonna proc the general first, let's cast Despair, let's kill the mobs, let's proc the General Cry. And, as you can see, we create a lot of minions that apply a shitload of Wither. But I don't really want to press the skill constantly, so I'm gonna link it to Auto Exertion. If I turn it on, I'm gonna periodically summon minions that are gonna be using Cyclone. And if I have cast Despair in the past 10 seconds, those Cyclone minions are gonna be... Oh my god, it's actually hard to showcase when everything's dying. But okay, if I could cast Despair in the previous 10 seconds, those minions are gonna be applying a lot of Wither. There we go. And since we don't want them to poison, in order to proc our own poison from the Viper Strike of Mamba, we're gonna link it to Brutality, and now those minions are no longer gonna poison. And to proc those minions on bosses, we're gonna be self-casting Desecrate. It's not gonna take long, just a few casts on the boss. So, with those changes, let's see how we handle the Eater of the Worlds now. That's some potent damage. Okay, I think you got tired of the action a little bit. Let's recraft the belt. This time I'm gonna grab Deafening Essences for Cold Dress. Let's get 2 sets. And I'm gonna hope to fish for Lightning Grass. Man, when you want mana, it's like no. Ooh, Tier 1 Energy Shield. Now can I annul that strength? I cannot. That's a good mana. Ooh, Tier 2 mana, Tier 1 Energy Shield. Let's go. That's my belt. I think I'll just craft Fire and Lightning Res on this and call it a day. Yeah, this is pretty good for resistances, and I got a bunch more mana. However, let's also bless this, or at least 79. And also let's grab ourselves and buy one more Tempering Catalyst. Go away menu. I need 20 of those. And just like that, we have a belt that gives us a 400 energy shield. Pretty good, pretty good. Because we got rid of Grace, we can also afford to fit Discipline in our reservations now. So let's do just that. 5700 energy shield. Let's do some chroming. I would like to have at least one blue socket in those gloves in order for the despair aura effect. There we go. I don't really need to, so this should be fine. And I would like to have one blue socket here for the Purity of Elements effect. Just like that. Precision I don't think benefits. Now, since we are not running Grace anymore, our Watcher's Eye is what we call useless. That's why we're gonna grab us as a Watcher Eye with Clarity, Mana, Energy Shield. It's gonna give us Mana as extra Energy Shield. Let's see how it affects our Energy Shield number. Us. Oh, I'm not affected by Clarity. That's right. Also gonna have to grab myself a Clarity Gem and activate it. We're up to 6k Energy Shield. Now, unfortunately, I'm no longer suppress capped, so I'm gonna take away even more suppression. I'm now at 79% suppression. I can probably fix it with tattoos. What I'm gonna do now is buy myself 2 more clusters with low tolerance. This time I'm not gonna Alteration Orb craft them. Let's take this out, let's take this out. Okay, and grab ourselves 2 more low tolerance clusters. With the leftover currency, I'm gonna update my regular jewels. All of our jewels now have mana and some attributes. I would like them to also have energy shield. That's why I'm gonna buy some jewels with energy shield. Wonderful, we almost got 1k energy shield. I am actually gonna replace my 7 passive voices with 5 passive voices. This should win us a few more skill points. Nice, we won 2 skill points with that little refactor. I'm still missing a little bit of poison chance, so I'm gonna tattoo away 3 intelligence nodes with 5% chance to poison on hit. I'm now way overcapped on the main hit crit strike chance, and a little bit overcapped on offhand crit strike chance. This is why I think it is worth to refund this point, and maybe this point can leave. Since I have a little bit of currency left over, I can finally upgrade my Annoyant to Arcane Wheel. Silver, Ember, Ember, Arcane Wheel. We're now up to 2800 mana, always 2900. And I think our character deserves some MTX at this point, since, you know, we're quite powerful. I'm gonna reward it with Night Lotus Helmet, my favorite helmet for the Trickster, because it hides its bad posture, Oracle Body Armor, those gloves, because purple is cool, and let's see, I think Cursebringer Boots? Do those? Yeah, those have roaches. Perfect for the poison theme we are going for. This is my MTX for now. As we upgrade the character, we're gonna make it look even cooler. With the remaining skill points, I think I'm just gonna suppress cap myself. Like so. And rest to divines. Well, even though I said that sulfur is free real estate right now, let's just say those two divines paid for sulfur. And what better way is there to test your build than killing an Uber boss? Let's do just that.
All things said remain consumed by fear. Rapture of the mind.
Oh my lord. That was such a skill issue death. Ooh, an astrolabe. As for the mob that this build is capable of, when I was running this version myself, I was running Abyss with the following setup. 2 Horned Scarabs of Nemesis, Scarabs of Wisps, Abyss Scarabs of Multitudes. And here's the Atlas tree. Basically, I grab everything Abyss related, middle Quant tree, and everything Scarab related. Let's see what we can do. Oh my lord. I forgot how good this is. They're out here because, well, we're CI build and the poison build. Oh, the loot is here. Enlightened support, let's fucking go. Who are you? You're a mob. Die. Oh yeah. Oh, isn't that nice? I feel like that's quite nice. Everything just explodes. Oops, I almost exploded. But worry not. I'm alive. Yeah. Oh no, there is one abyss remaining. And now they're cleared. A skitter lock, please? Yeah. Oh, 4 cloisters. Alright, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is the 50D version of the Viper Strike of the Mamba character. It is uber viable, pretty much. It has excellent damage, like you saw how I melted Uber Trauma. It is an excellent mapper, albeit it still has some issues with survivability, but if you keep the pace of the map, you should be just fine. The only thing that can really kill you is giant bursts of damage when your Immortal Call is on cooldown. Overall, I give this version of the character a solid 8 out of 10. This is one of the best mappers I have played. And now, for the time you have all been waiting for, the 500D version is upon us. Let's see what we've got. Here it is. It's in this stash tab. So, unlike the previous 2 versions, I am not gonna be crafting this live because this is the gear that I have been playing for basically 5 days and it took a long time to farm it. Basically, a lot of this gear is perfect and I cannot be bothered to recraft it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in order of price/importance. And I'm gonna plug in those upgrades one by one. Is that alright? It's not like you have any choice. So, one very notable upgrade that I did is the Light of Being with the passive skill and radius also grant energy shield. We have a very potent spot for it right here, since we have a lot of stuff allocated here. Take a look at our energy shield value. It goes to 8,000 just from this one jewel, isn't it crazy? Next up we have 2 of the same jewel, Watcher's Eye with the maximum mana as energy shield, and the Balance of Terror. We already have them, those one are just rolled better. So, the next extremely important set of jewels is Forbidden Flame, Forbidden Flesh with the Escape Artists. Currently they cost 10 and they cost 50D. What this set of jewels is gonna give us is a lot of energy shield and even more evasion. Next up, I should have done that at the beginning, but I have a 3 passive voices and another 5 passive voices. But I'm gonna replace this 3 passive voices is about 130D. So let's equip it. Okay, let's see now. We have this wonderful 3 passive voices. Oh, this saves us so much points. Now for the medium clusters. They are the same, however, they also have the Eldritch Inspiration in addition to low tolerance. Eldritch Inspiration gives us maximum mana, chaos damage, so basically double scaling. Now for the most exciting part, the Mega Blood. Of course, as every self-respecting late game build does, I am running a Mage Blood. I am running a Topaz Flask for the maximum resistance, a Silver Flask for, no, not Silver, a Bismuth Flask, a Quicksilver Flask, Jade Flask, and in my free slot I'm running a Sorrow of the Divine for the free Eldritch Battery. And of course, the Mage Blood builds aren't the Mage Blood builds if you're not using Melting of the Flesh, allowing us to cap our elemental resistances by the maximum resistance. Incidentally, we have basically the same jewels as we have in the previous iteration, but each and every single one of them has +2% to maximum lightning res. Now, funny enough, the helmet that I have crafted for video is actually better than the one I have right here. It has more int, more resistance, but it has bricked implicits. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to use this one. The gloves, those are basically the same gloves, however, instead of triple defense, they have mana. This is tier 4 mana, oh my god, disgusting. They have 1 res and intelligence. Let's put them on. The boots, I would have been almost able to craft this if I didn't get screwed on the prefixes. The method is exactly the same as I showcased in the video. My Shavran Revelation Ring is the same, just better rolled and Hateful Accuser. Not much to talk about. Whispers of the Infinity, however, I have a crazy good roll. First of all, I have max rolled added attack chaos damage, a good roll on maximum energy shield, and an under-rolled reduced maximum mana. This took like 10 or 15 volatile Val Orbs. I am proud of this one. Just like this, with those changes, we have 90 max res and 30k evasion, pretty solid. With a build like this, you can pretty much do whatever the hell you want. It is tanky, it is a Giga mapper, previous version was a Giga mapper. This one, you will see what content I'm running. So, the Atlas is exactly the same as for the previous Abyss strategy. Well, because really it's the Atlas for this strategy, but the Scarabs are much more potent. First of all, we are running Originator, Delirious map. As for the strategy that I'm running for this, well, you can basically pick any strategy you want. This is one of the repair mapping strategy. For this Atlas, I'm using the exact same Atlas as for the previous strategy, because, well, realistically this is the Atlas for this strategy. And for the Scarabs, I'm using Abyss Scarab, Scarab of Wisp, Double Horn Scarab of Nemesis, and an Allflame Ember of Propagation. Also, hold on a second, I shouldn't be using Scarab of Wisps, I should be using a Betrayal Scarab. Betrayal Scarab of the Allflame instead of the Abyss Scarab. There we go. This is the kind of map that can spawn rares with 20 plus mods, and the only strategy that, as far as I know, can drop ground loot this league. As sad as that sounds. Oh my god, my FPS really doesn't like whatever's happening to those mobs right there. There is a rare with 5+ modifiers and 2 delirious modifiers. Are not exactly killable. Okay, this is much better. I think it had some sort of weird invulnerability phases. And ironically, the map that I have done did not drop any ground loot. This is one of the builds where investment really pays off. And what's really cool is that you don't change your character much, you just buy an expensive item and then you buy a more expensive item, and just keep doing that until your damage is great, until your survivability is great. Sometimes you would change things around, but that's about it. And this is it for the 550-500 Viper Strike of Mamba. I really hope you enjoyed this video.